The Average Paul Kagame Supporter. How Rwanda Learned to Clap in Unison. Written by Gabriel Ndayishimiye. Scene 8. I tell myself these are letters of resistance, but we both know they're obituaries in disguise. Yes, I admit it. I left the note. What of it? A folded scrap of cowardice or courage. I no longer know which. I didn't sign it. Why would I? You think I still crave recognition? As if my name ever meant anything more than a placeholder in a ledger of the forgotten. No, I left it anonymously, absurdly, like some lovesick criminal expecting redemption by proxy. And then, of course, I waited. I crouched there like a fool, holding my breath, as though the world might pivot on the hinge of a paper's edge. But silence. Always silence. Her floor above me, like a heaven I neither believe in nor can stop reaching for. And yet, I swear on the cracked bones of my dignity, I heard her voice. I did. Or else it was my own, split and refracted, wearing her intonation like a mask. She said, "You are not well." A statement. Final, unassailable, like a diagnosis scratched into the walls of an asylum. I laughed, nervously, involuntarily. I think even then I knew she was right. Lately, she speaks to me more often. Yes, more often. Not from her apartment, from here, from within. She lectures me with a kind of cold, surgical mercy. "You're not a dissident," she tells me. "You're an afterthought." And still, I reply, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" I argue with her in the darkness like a man fencing with smoke. I defend myself with philosophy, with jokes, with imagined revolutions made from string and glue and paper puppets. And she answers with silence. Her silence is devastating. It contains entire verdicts. And I keep writing letters I will never send. I tell myself, these are letters of resistance. But we both know they're obituaries in disguise. Epitaphs for possibilities I abandoned before they had names. Each one begins with fire and ends with ash. There is no rebellion in them, only repetition, a mimicry of meaning. And yet I write. Because writing, however futile, is the only movement I have left that feels like breathing. The page becomes a confessional booth for a man who no longer believes in absolution, but kneels anyway, out of habit, out of some deep neural reflex, wired to seek punishment when prayer fails. You must understand, I do not long to be heard. That would imply hope. No, I long to be seen and condemned. There's a clarity in condemnation, a finality, a boundary drawn. Even hell, I imagine, has rules. But this life of spectrality, this twilight of the inconsequential, it is far worse. I am not haunted by her voice. I cling to it. It is the last architecture in a world where the floors have rotted out and the sky will not fall fast enough. When she says, "You're not well," I feel for a moment like I exist. Pain, after all, is a kind of proof. Sometimes I think she is the state, not its agent, but its soul, not its functionary, but its form, the distilled essence of sanctioned quiet, the kind that renders even thought suspect. She has become my conscience, but not the divine kind. No, not the one with wings and flaming swords. Hers is a secular conscience, a product of institutional engineering. She doesn't accuse me of crimes. She reminds me that I am irrelevant. That, my friend, is the new theology. Not guilt, but irrelevance. Not sin, but inutility. There are days when I wonder if I wrote the note at all. Perhaps there was no paper, No ink, no act. Perhaps I only imagined the gesture, fashioned it in the hollow where courage should live, then mistook that fiction for memory. How many of my rebellions have occurred entirely in the mind? How many revolutions have I staged in silence, with no risk, no audience, no blood? And yet still, I write another, always another. Each letter a liturgy performed in a room that smells of paper and failure. I leave them on the desk, sometimes seal them in envelopes I will never address. Why? Because this ritual is the only defiance left to me. Not against the regime, not even against her, against decay, against that slow, bureaucratic evaporation of the self that happens when no one calls your name, not even to destroy you. The worst part? I no longer wish for salvation, not even from her, not even from God. I wish only to be noticed in my fall. If someone, anyone, could stand at the edge of my ruin and whisper, "Yes, I saw him. He did not go quietly," I believe I would die content. But no one will. No one does. The silence has teeth now, and I am already bleeding.